1, 2, 3. 3 count 4.
Hello everyone, I am Be Better Gamer and welcome to Be Better Gamer Wrestling. This channel is dedicated to the classic series of N64 wrestling games developed by CAW Corporation, which, if you are unfamiliar, were WCW NWO World Tour, WCW NWO Revenge, Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, WWF No Mercy, and WWF WrestleMania 2000, which is the game I am playing today, and I am going to be bringing you another created wrestler from WrestleMania 2000, and it is going to be British Bulldog. Look how good British Bulldog looks. It's almost as if he was supposed to be in the game. This is something I talked about when I did my last CAW video with Road Warrior Animal and Road Warrior Hawk, which you can check out in the description below. But British Bulldog, they actually have his face in this game. He also appears in WCW NWO Revenge, and we also get him in WWF No Mercy. Maybe he didn't make it because at the time when WrestleMania 2000 came out, he was still under contract with WCW. I don't know, but he did appear in WWF in 2000, so and he would appear in WrestleMania WWF No Mercy. So why not include him in WrestleMania 2000, especially with, you know, you have his face. I mean, come on, that's Davey Boy Smith. You can't deny that face. There's only two faces in the game that don't belong to anyone else, and that's actually face 49 and face 50, which I just showed you. Face 50 is Johnny Ace. So of course I'm gonna have to make a Johnny Ace created wrestler, John Laurinaitis, to everyone else. And here we go. His, you know, they don't have, you can't alternate his upper armbands, but you know, wristbands, feet. So I'm going to show you a little something here with the feet when I go to the ring attire, but feet 21. So we go to ring attire, and that's Bulldog's tights. That's the same, pretty much the same tights he had in WCW NWO Revenge and the same tights he wore in real life. At the time that WrestleMania 2000 came out, and sort of I think what they were basing it on, well, no, Bulldog wasn't even around in 99. So earlier, his last run in WWF before he came back, when he would wear his red, white, and blue tights, he was wearing some short tights. I didn't make a short tights outfit in this. I just kept it simple, just gave him the regular long tights and then the upper armbands. One is red and one is blue for the second attire. But here's a cool thing about his tights. His tights have his boots built into it. So those are like, the blue and the red are supposed to be his lassos, and I'm showing you other boots, what they look like on his tights, and that's the reason why I went with number 21, because 21 are kind of like shoes, and they don't cover over the little lassos that are behind the boot, you know, or the tassos, I would say. It's very, I didn't notice this until I was going back and forth with looking at his moves in WCW NWO Revenge and looking at his moves in WWF No Mercy. But I noticed in WCW NWO Revenge, I was like, wait a minute, those lassos go all the way to the back of his boots, all the way down to the bottom. Why can't I get that to happen here? And I didn't realize that I had to just use a different set of boots. So that's it. That's pretty much it. In the description below, you can look and check to see the full CAW typed out that has his fighting style, parameters, name, all that stuff, all the moves. His moves are basically taken from WWF No Mercy, which with a few changes. I did change some things around, nothing too crazy, nothing too major. Again, you can interpret it however you want to interpret it, and you know, change stuff however you want to change stuff, because you're not locked into his moveset in WrestleMania 2000 because you're creating him from scratch. But there you go, here he comes out. Man, it looks just like him. It really does, because it is him. You know, it'd be cool if you could change the upper armbands in WrestleMania 2000. I mean, you can't change them in any of the games for Aki. You know, you can't change them in No Mercy either. You can't have them alternating colors. But that would be really cool, because that's what he had. He had alternating red and blue. And now I'm going to show you a match with him like I do in all my CAW videos. So you can keep it on in the background while you get to work making your British Bulldog CAW for WrestleMania 2000. But I'm going to be facing Ken Shamrock, because they actually had a match at SummerSlam 97, I believe. British Bulldog against Ken Shamrock for the European Championship. And I did a WWF No Mercy European Championship Let's Play with the British Bulldog, where I actually did try to make his little short tights kind of outfit using like Val Vetus's tights. Gonna be honest, wasn't really crazy about the look of it at the end of the day. I could have done something similar for WrestleMania 2000, but I decided not to because they have his actual tights. So why try to make tights that aren't really his and just go with his regular tights? You can do it if you want. You can make his short tights outfit. That's perfectly fine. It's perfectly up to you. Again, when I do my CAW videos, I'm not trying to say this is how it should be done or this is what must be done. It's just my own interpretation, and honestly, it's sort of like creating that creative outlet for myself as a CAW creator and to share it with other CAW creators, and so that we could bounce ideas off of each other and see what everyone else is doing. But I had to include the British Bulldog. Both Bulldog and Ken Shamrock were involved in that infamous 5-on-5 tag team match at In Your House Canadian Stampede in July of '97. The Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart, Owen Hart, British Bulldog, and Brian Pillman versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ken Shamrock, Goldust, and the Legion of Doom. And I talked about it in my Legion of Doom call, so I'm sort of continuing it. I guess I'm just gonna have to keep making people from that match because all those people seem like they fit, or they should fit, in WrestleMania 2000. So look forward to an Owen Hart call. Might even do a Jim Neidhart call. Definitely probably will do a Bret Hart call in WrestleMania 2000 and eventually in WWF No Mercy. It'd be cool to try a Brian Pillman call. That would be fun to do for WrestleMania 2000. And who's left? Goldust. I don't know if I'd be able to do a good Goldust in WrestleMania 2000. It can't really do anything with the face paint not being there. And I'm kind of picky like that. If it doesn't look really close, like if I can't squint and see the wrestler, then I won't make the call. You know what I mean? Like it has to look good enough. Like if I squint and like things look kind of like blurry, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that kind of looks like him, then I'll make the call. But if it doesn't pass the squint test, then I won't make the call. I'm kind of, but you can make it. Show me what your Goldust would look like. That'd be great. That'd be awesome to see what people can come up with. But British Bulldog, man, I think about British Bulldog and I think about Hall of Fame. I think if one day he'll be into the Hall of Fame. I loved British Bulldog as a kid. His match with Bret Hart, obviously at SummerSlam as well, in the UK. His tag team with Dynamite Kid, who, spoiler, I might be talking more about them soon in my No Mercy Let's Plays. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I am doing the Tag Team Championship Let's Plays. But I always think about British Bulldog and how I wouldn't say he was underrated. I think people knew how good he was. I think, when I got older and I found out about a lot of personal demons that were getting in his way, I don't think he ever reached the levels that he could have, even though he accomplished quite a lot. I mean, he was Intercontinental Champion, first ever European Champion, multiple time Tag Team Champion. I mean, the dude has an impressive resume. It's a no-brainer to put him into the Hall of Fame. So it's going to be interesting to see if and when that day happens. I do think he is a lock for the WWE Hall of Fame. I'd love to see him inducted. What else was I going to mention about the British Bulldog? Oh, so funny thing is, I'm playing this off of my WrestleMania 2000 ROM, actually, that I'm playing off of my N64 EverDrive. The Road Warriors was actually like my first WrestleMania 2000 video I put up on this channel, but I'm playing all of my, going forward, all of my videos that are going to be on WrestleMania 2000. I'm actually playing it off my EverDrive, which is in my N64. I also have a WrestleMania 2000 cartridge, but I spent a lot of money on the EverDrive, so I'm trying to use it as much as possible. So that's really why I'm playing it. I'm not doing anything fancy, no ROM hacks, nothing like that. Well, yet, who knows? Maybe I can find a nice sweet mod for WrestleMania 2000. But I don't have Shawn Michaels unlocked in WrestleMania 2000 on my ROM, on my save file. So you could put him as his rival when you want to do, who he's accompanied to the ring by, or who his three rivals are. Obviously, Shawn Michaels has to be number one because Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog had a feud for the European Championship, and Shawn Michaels infamously beat the British Bulldog for the European Championship, in the UK, in his home country, and it was a huge deal. And probably the last time the European Championship mattered really was when British Bulldog had it. Didn't really do much of anything after that. I talked about it a lot in my European Championship Let's Play. So if you're interested in finding out more about how I think about the European Championship and its legacy, go watch those episodes. They're pretty old now, so I'm afraid to go back and hear them myself, but you should go and hear them for me and tell me how bad they were or how good they were. Who knows? I try to listen to as much as I can of what I record. Sometimes I just can't listen to myself because I just think of all the things I should have said or all the mistakes I've made. I just keep going forward, and hopefully with the next one I'll be better, which is why I'm Be Better Gamer. But Ken Shamrock is giving me for a run for my money right now, isn't he? Trying to get my special off, and he wastes my special. For the longest time when I would do my Let's Plays or my Creator Wrestler videos and Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 or WWF No Mercy and WCW Endable Revenge, I always talked about how WCW Endable Revenge, I think, was probably the most challenging of all the Aki games next to Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. But the reason why WCW Endable Revenge I always thought was more challenging than Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 is because it feels kind of cheap in WCW Endable Revenge because the engine wasn't as fully developed as eventually it will be in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 and WWF No Mercy. Having gone back and playing more WrestleMania 2000 now, because I gotta admit, I never really went back and played WrestleMania 2000 once No Mercy came out, and once Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 came out especially, I never went back and played WrestleMania 2000. WrestleMania 2000 is much harder than I thought it was. So I've been having a lot of difficulty doing these matches, and Ken Shamrock gave me a long one. I put him away with the power slam, but you know, he gave me a little difficulty, and when I was doing the Road Warriors call, the New Age Outlaws were giving me a little difficulty. I had to change the rule set around, but there you go. I managed to get through the match, and British Bulldog looking strong as ever against Ken Shamrock. I hope you like this call. I really like this call. I really like the way he looks because, you know, the game made it easy for me by having his face included, but you know what to do. You've been on YouTube before. Like, comment, subscribe. You'll probably see some links right now to some of my other calls and other videos on this channel. I hope you enjoy my content. I am Be Better Gamer. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep watching all the wrestling.